You guys are a great crowd. I love telling jokes. One of the things I find funny about the world that we live in right now is there are these people who are just like, oh, everybody's offended all the time and comedy's dying and it's dead. And I travel around a lot, do comedy. Comedy is not dying, it is not dead. But there are people who are offended all the time. But here's the beautiful part, and I don't know why we haven't just solved this yet and said it out loud. You can just ignore them. Like, I don't know why that's not just the most basic option. If you're somebody who's offended all the time, it's like, man, the world's not a lot for you, so sorry, it's a rough place out there. You know, but there are people who get offended by lots of stuff and lots of dumb shit too. It's not just like comedy. I always find it funny when like a corporation steps in it. Like a little while ago, Burger King came out with a new burger and it was called the Asian burger, right? And let's not pretend that the most offensive part of the Asian burger from Burger King isn't the fact that it's just a beef patty dunked in teriyaki sauce, right? What happened was, in the commercial, and this is what people got offended about, was that people tried to eat the burger in the commercial with chopsticks. And people were like, that's offensive! And you're like, oh yeah, because Asian people don't use chopsticks. Well, they do, some of them. And it's like, okay, so they do, and that's why it's, I don't know, I'm just offended, right? Because it's nothing. It's a nothing thing. It should be something you see that doesn't even register in your brain as a thing. You should be like, oh, maybe I'll try that burger. And that's it. But then these corporations, because they don't know what they're doing. So they step in it and then they just have to issue an apology. And the apology lands on deaf ears because the people who were complaining about being offended don't actually give a shit, right? They're not going to accept your apology, because if they accept your apology, they're not allowed to be mad anymore, and they really want to be mad, right? So, this apology's not good enough. Well, of course it's not good enough. It's an apology issued by the PR team and lawyers of Burger King. You're not getting apologized to by the actual Burger King. He's not like, I've offended my people. I need to address the masses. No, it's a bunch of fucking suits that are just like, fuck, shut them up with this. And then they don't get shut up because they were never offended. And this is why I love it. This is where our society has boiled down to, is a bunch of people who aren't actually sorry apologizing to a bunch of people who aren't actually offended. And the rest of us have to stand in the middle and go, oh yeah, that's how a society functions properly. Right? Because people get offended by bullshit and we all have to register it. Because they do force us to register it. Like, it's Christmas time, it's coming up to Christmas time. Inevitably, there will be a debate about the song, Baby It's Cold Outside. Right? People get offended by the song, Baby It's Cold Outside. Why, you can't play Baby It's Cold Outside? That's about rape. Like, really? It sounds like a song about a couple people want to fuck in the cold. What are you listening to? What are you hearing that I'm not? But they got so offended. People got so offended by this Christmas song that like, that song's about sexual assault. You can't play that on the radio anymore. That radio stations started to take it seriously. CBC Radio, right, did this thing where they were like, we're not gonna play Baby It's Cold Outside on any of our radio stations because we stand with women. Do you, CBC? Do you stand with women? Because you let Jian Ghomeshi walk around that building and punch fuck half your staff for 5 years. You don't just get to step up to stand with women when it's a zero-sum game for you. You had a chance to help actual women at a point in time, and you took a pass and waited for that fucking duet to come down the pipe. And it's all about protecting the kids. That's another thing. They want to protect kids from these cartoons and shit that we watch that are now bad. Beauty and the Beast. There's people that want to get rid of the cartoon Beauty and the Beast, right? Because they're like, that's an abusive, toxic relationship. That's what Beauty and the Beast depicts. Because the beauty, right, she didn't want to be with the Beast, but the Beast wanted her, so he held her captive. And then eventually she fell in love with him, and that's an abusive relationship right there. And the people who believe that will look you in the face and say it earnestly without ever addressing the fact that the people they're talking about are drawn. These are not real people. This is a cartoon. Right? Stop putting your cynical adult lenses onto your little kid's eyes, because your little kid is not watching Beauty and the Beast the same way you are as a jaded, fucked up adult, all right? Right? Ask a kid what they remember the most about Beauty and the Beast, and they're gonna be like, well, I don't know, the candlestick guy, right? At no point in time are they ever gonna come up with the forced confinement. It's funny too, because we can actually help kids. There's a way to help kids right now. Real kids, instead of just like protecting them from cartoons. We could take a real long look at the Catholic Church. That might be a good idea. Oh, you guys didn't hear. Okay, so what happened was, for centuries, no, we gotta look at that. Here's the thing, man. I'm not talking about getting rid of the Catholic Church. I figured it out. You can do this without getting rid of the Catholic Church. You know what you have to do to solve the priest problem? Make it illegal to be an altar boy. That's it. Get rid of altar boys. They don't need to be there. All they do during the Mass is just run errands for the priest, right? They bring him like Jesus crackers and wine. That's all they do. We don't need them. Get your own wine, all right? Because think about that. Why did we not see this coming? You have a minor bringing alcohol to a pedophile, and you're like, where did this system collapse? How did that break down? I thought that was foolproof.